the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in the binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
Chemistry is a gibberish of Latin and German, but in Liebig's hands it becomes a powerful language. Jacob Grimm. Jacob Grimm was a German linguist, philologist, jurist, and folklorist, best known for his collaboration with his brother Wilhelm, as the Brothers Grimm. Together, they collected and published a foundational work in folklore studies. Jacob made significant contributions to the study of Germanic languages and mythology, most notably through Grimm's Law in Linguistics. His work helped to establish the scientific study of etymology and the historical development of languages. Jacob Grimm's early life was marked by both academic promise and financial hardship. Born on January 4, 1785, in Hanau, in the Landgraviate of Hesse-Kassel, now part of Germany, he was the second of 9 children to Philipp Wilhelm Grimm, a lawyer, and Dorothea Grimm. The family initially enjoyed a comfortable life, even moving to the countryside town of Steinau, where his father served as a district magistrate. The children were educated at home by private tutors, receiving a strict Lutheran upbringing that instilled in them a lifelong religious faith. However, tragedy struck in 1796 when Jacob was just 11 years old. His father died of pneumonia, plunging the large family into poverty. As the eldest surviving son, Jacob, along with his younger brother Wilhelm, was forced to shoulder adult responsibilities. Their grandfather's constant exhortations for them to be industrious, coupled with their aunt's patronage, allowed them to attend the Friedrichsgymnasium in Kassel in 1798. This period solidified the exceptional closeness between Jacob and Wilhelm, as they relied entirely on each other. Despite their differing temperaments, Jacob being more introspective and Wilhelm more outgoing, though often ill, they shared a strong work ethic and excelled in their studies, acutely aware of their inferior social status compared to their more privileged peers. In 1802, Jacob entered the University of Marburg to study law, a profession his father had intended for him. Wilhelm joined him a year later, also studying law. At Marburg, they were profoundly influenced by the lectures of Friedrich Karl von Savigny, a prominent expert in Roman law. Savigny's teachings not only awakened in them a scientific awareness but also fostered a deep love for historical and antiquarian investigation, which would underpin all their future work. It was in Savigny's library that Jacob first encountered medieval German texts, sparking his desire to study their language. In 1805, Jacob went to Paris to assist Savigny with his literary work, further strengthening his interest in medieval literature through studies in Parisian libraries. Upon his return to Kassel, he took a position in the War Office, a role that, despite its small salary and uncomfortable uniform, afforded him spare time for his burgeoning studies. The death of his mother in 1808 made Jacob fully responsible for his younger siblings, and he secured a more financially stable position as superintendent of the private library of Jerome Bonaparte, King of Westphalia. This period, and his later roles as secretary of legation and librarian in Kassel, allowed him to continue his academic pursuits, eventually leading him and Wilhelm to dedicate themselves entirely to literary research rather than legal careers. Jacob Grimm's later work continued to build upon his foundational interests in linguistics, philology, and folklore, cementing his legacy as a pivotal figure in 19th-century German scholarship. While he is widely known for the children's and household tales Grimm's fairy tales, which saw multiple revised editions throughout his life from 86 stories in 1812 to over 200 by 1857, his academic contributions extended far beyond popular narratives. Jacob Grimm's intellectual contributions extended far beyond the realm of fairy tales, making him a foundational figure in the nascent field of linguistics. One of his most profound and lasting achievements was the multi-volume Deutsche Grammatik Germanic Grammar, which he published between 1819 and 1837. This was not a prescriptive grammar in the modern sense, but rather a monumental work of historical linguistics. Within the pages of this exhaustive treatise, Grimm embarked on a systematic and rigorous exploration of the historical development of all Germanic languages. His aim was to trace their origins, evolution, and interrelationships, from their earliest attested forms to the languages spoken in his own time. This endeavor involved a meticulous comparison of various Germanic dialects and historical stages, allowing him to identify patterns and regularities in their linguistic changes over centuries. The Deutsche Grammatik was groundbreaking because it provided a robust framework for the scientific study of etymology, the origin and historical development of words, and comparative linguistics, the study of the relationships between languages, particularly in terms of their historical development. Before Grimm, the study of language was often more speculative or focused on individual languages in isolation. Grimm's work, however, demonstrated that linguistic change was not random but followed predictable rules. His most famous articulation within this work was what came to be known as Grimm's Law. This law describes a series of systematic sound changes that occurred as Proto-Indo-European, the reconstructed ancestor of many European and Asian languages, consonants evolved into the consonants found in Germanic languages. For instance, Grimm's law explains why the Proto-Indo-European sound P often became F in Germanic languages, e.g. Latin pater versus English father, or how T often became TH, e.g. Latin trace versus English 3. Beyond grammar, Jacob delved into the history of German law and mythology. His Deutsche Rechtsaltertümer, German legal antiquities, 1828 explored ancient German legal practices and beliefs, while his Deutsche Mythologie, German mythology, 1835 was a comprehensive study of pre-Christian Germanic faith, superstitions, and folklore, tracing them from poetry, fairy tales, and other cultural elements. These works demonstrated his deep commitment to understanding the historical and cultural roots of the German people. Jacob Grimm's most ambitious and monumental undertaking was undoubtedly the Deutsches Wörterbuch German Dictionary, a project he initiated with his brother Wilhelm in 1838. This immense scholarly endeavor aimed to create a definitive historical dictionary of the German language, meticulously tracing its evolution from the era of Martin Luther right up to their present day. The dictionary was a lifelong commitment for both Jacob and Wilhelm. Despite their dedication, the sheer scale of the project meant they were unable to see it through to completion. Wilhelm passed away in 1859, and Jacob followed in 1863. By the time of his death, Jacob had only managed to complete entries up to the letter F, highlighting the truly colossal nature of their vision. The Deutsches Wörterbuch was ultimately completed by other scholars much later, finally reaching fruition in 1961. The finished work comprises a staggering 32 volumes, a testament to the comprehensive and ambitious scope originally conceived by the Grimm brothers. Even amidst personal and political challenges, Jacob Grimm's commitment to scholarship remained unwavering. After being dismissed from his professorship at the University of Göttingen in 1837 for protesting political changes, an event that saw him become one of the Göttingen Seven, he continued his tireless research. He accepted positions at the University of Berlin, where he dedicated himself wholeheartedly to the dictionary and a wide range of other linguistic and historical studies until his death. Concise list of Jacob Grimm's legacy after his death: 1863, completion of Deutsches Wörterbuch, the German dictionary, started by Jacob and Wilhelm, was continued by other scholars and completed in 1961, spanning 32 volumes. Enduring influence of Grimm's law, his linguistic discovery of systematic sound shifts in Germanic languages became foundational in comparative linguistics. Global popularity of Grimm's fairy tales, Kinder- und Hausmärchen, continued to be translated and adapted worldwide, shaping folklore studies and popular culture. Advancement of Germanic studies, his works like Deutsche Grammatik and Deutsche Mythologie inspired generations of philologists, historians, and anthropologists. Cultural nationalism, Grimm's scholarship bolstered German cultural identity, influencing 19th and 20th century German literature and heritage movements. Academic recognition, his methodologies in etymology and historical linguistics remain central to language studies, with ongoing citations in modern scholarship. Nearly all my labors have been devoted, either directly or indirectly, to the investigation of our earlier language, poetry, and laws. These studies may have appeared to many, and may still appear, useless. To me they have always seemed a noble and earnest task, definitely and inseparably connected with our common fatherland, and calculated to foster the love of it. My principle has always been in these investigations to undervalue nothing, but to utilize the small for the illustration of the great, the popular tradition for the elucidation of the written monuments. Jacob Grimm. Works, Über den Altdeutschen Meistergesang Göttingen, 1811. Kinder- und Hausmärchen Berlin, 1812–1815. Many editions. Das Lied von Hildebrand und de Weissenbrunner Gebet Kassel, 1812. Altdeutsche Walder Kassel, Frankfurt, 1813–1816, 3 volumes. Der Arm Heinrich von Hartmann von der Au Berlin, 1815. Ermenstrasse und Irmensaal Vienna, 1815. Die Lieder der Alten Edda Berlin, 1815. Silva de Romances Viejos Vienna, 1815. Deutsche Sagen Berlin, 1816–1818, 2nd ed. Berlin, 1865–1866. Deutsche Grammatik Göttingen, 1819, 2nd ed. Göttingen, 1822–1840. Reprinted 1870 by Wilhelm Schurer, Berlin. Wuch Stefanowitz's Klein Serbisk Grammatik, Verdut mit einer Vorrede Leipzig and Berlin, 1824. Wuch Stefanovic Karadzik, Serbian Grammar. Zur Recension der Deutschen Grammatik Kassel, 1826. Irisk Elfenmarchen, Aus dem Englischen Leipzig, 1826. Deutsche Reichsaltertümer Göttingen, 1828, 2nd ed. 1854. Him orum vetris ecclesiae xxvi. Interpretatio Theodisque Göttingen, 1830. Reinhard Fuchs Berlin, 1834. Deutsche Mythologie Göttingen, 1835, 3rd ed. 1854, 2 volumes. Tacitae Germania edited Göttingen, 1835. Übermein Entlassung Basel, 1838. Together with Schmeller Latenis Gedichte xund 11. Jahrhunderts-Göttingen, 1838. Sendschreiben and Karl Lachmann über Reinhard Fuchs Berlin, 1840. Weistummer, Thi. Göttingen, 1840 continued, partly by others, in 5 parts, 1840 to 1869. Andreas und Ellen Kassel, 1840. Frau Aventia Berlin, 1842. Geschichter Deutschen Sprache Leipzig, 1848, 3rd ed. 1868, 2 volumes. De Wort des Besitzes Berlin, 1850. Deutsches Wörterbuch, BDI. Leipzig, 1854. Ried auf Wilhelm Grimm und Ried über das Alter Berlin, 1868, 3rd ed. 1865. Kleinere Schriften F. Dummler, Berlin, 1864 to 1884, 7 volumes. Volume 1, Reden und Abhandlungen 1864, 2nd ed. 1879. Volume 2, Abhandlungen zur Mythologie und Sittenkunde 1865. Volume 3, Abhandlungen zur Literatur und Grammatik 1866. Volume 4, Recensionen und Vermischte Part I 1869. Volume 5, Recensionen und Vermischte Part 2 1871. Volume 6, Recensionen und Vermischte Part 3. Volume 7, Recensionen und Vermischte Part 4 1884. Citations, Children's Literature Portal. Hadumad Busman, Routledge Dictionary of Language and Linguistics, Routledge, 1996, p. 85. UPI Almanac for Friday, January 4, 2019. United Press International. January 4, 2019. Archived from the original on January 5, 2019. Retrieved September 4, 2019. German folklore fairy tale collector Jacob Grimm in 1785. One or more of the preceding sentences incorporates text from a publication now in the public domain. Sweet, Henry 1911. Grimm, Jacob Ludwig Karl. In Chisholm, Hugh ed. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Volume 12 11th ed. Cambridge University Press. Pages 600 to 602. Nichols, Stephen G. 1996. Medievalism and the Modernist Temper. Johns Hopkins University Press. p. 143. Andrews, Charles MacLean 1898. The Historical Development of Modern Europe, from the Congress of Vienna to the Present Time, Volumes 1-2. G. P. Putnam's Sons. Pages 265 to 266. Book of Members, 1780 to 2010, Chapter GPDF. American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Retrieved September 9, 2016. Dilcher, Gerhard 2001. Grimm, Jacob. In Michael Stolle's ed. Juristen, ein biographisches Lexikon, von der Antike bis zum 20. Jahrhundert in German 2nd ed. München, Beck. p. 262. ISBN 3-406-45957-9. Zips, Jack 2002. The Brothers Grimm, From Enchanted Forests to the Modern World, 2nd edition. Palgrave Macmillan. Pages 19 to 20 and 158. Obituary. Death of Jacob Grimm. The New York Times. October 9, 1863. ISSN 0362-4331. Retrieved March 6, 2019. APS Member History. Search.mphilesoc.org. Retrieved April 16, 2021. Jacob Grimm. Biography. Archived from the original on March 6, 2019. Retrieved March 6, 2019. Leave of absence from September 5, 1848 to October 2, 1848.
Wrecks on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No light, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. Silence break, raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw.
Okay.